Let's start with Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss losing to Kentucky.
You know, Blaine, I got to give you your flowers here because you made a comment that Lane Kiffin, you know, saying the thing about Hugh Freeze, a team they're not playing in the middle of the week, you need to focus on Kentucky. And I sat here and said, well, Lane's just being Lane. He's always going to do this. And we've seen in the past that, you know, I know he hasn't won a lot of big games, but he's taking care of the other games, right? This, and I want to give credit to Kentucky first. Mark Stoops had a great game plan. I didn't think they'd be able to bounce back after the game against Georgia just because of the physicality, and you were so close, and it's so hard to get up and then go on the road, right, and play a quality team and win that game after the physical beatdown that you take regardless if you win or lose when you play Georgia. Ole Miss looked unprepared to me on both sides of the ball. They looked unprepared. And Kentucky looked like, Ole Miss looked like a team that was already fed. They weren't hungry, which baffles me because Ole Miss hasn't won anything. I mean, let's be honest. A New Year's Six Bowl, that's great. That's not what Ole Miss fans want with this team. This is the team that's supposed to take them to the next level. This is the team that's supposed to get them that SEC championship. They've never even played in the game. They split in 2003. You got West Division with LSU, but they didn't play in the SEC championship game. This was the team that's supposed to go toe-to-toe and be able to beat Alabama and beat Georgia at home and say, you know what? Ole Miss is not just somebody that can get close. They can get there and do damage when they get there. So to watch them just show up and think that Kentucky, because they got beat on both sides of the line of scrimmage, both of them. I was more shocked that Kentucky's front seven was able to dominate Ole Miss so consistently, their offensive line. You know, the defense we still had to see, we felt like it was better. But not only do I feel like the players were unprepared, Pete Golding did not get out of his too high shell when they were getting killed by the square end over and over and over again on third down. And sometimes the game plan isn't working and you need to adjust. But you didn't adjust. It was almost like he was holding back not to show too much of what they'll do on important downs. And it cost you. Kentucky showed up and Ole Miss played that game on their terms. Played it on their terms. Kentucky sat on the ball. They dominated third down. Ole Miss was like 1 for 11. When it came to who can make the field goals and make plays in special teams, it was Kentucky, not Ole Miss. And Jackson Dart looked like the flustered quarterback because there was so much pressure in the backfield. So I felt like this was a total no-show for Lane Kiffin's team. I think he would agree with me deep down. He may not say it. But on that same note, I don't think Ole Miss is done. I'm not ready to call Ole Miss fraudulent yet. Now they have to really thread the needle. You could still get in the playoff at 10-2 with that schedule. I think they'll still get in. But now you cannot afford to have any hiccup. You have given yourself no breathing room because you were unprepared to play a Kentucky team. You thought you were too good to play this Kentucky team, and they went into your house and they beat you even when you took the lead in the second half. So, David, Blaine, I'm not ready to throw Ole Miss out, right, because I was high on them before the year. But you better wake up, and you better wake up quick, because you're not Bama. You're not Georgia. You're not Tennessee. You have to prove that you can do it. You should still be as hungry as ever, if not even more hungry, and not act like you're fed, and that's what they look like to me.
Are you throwing them out?
You're frauds.
Complete frauds.
You're frauds. Who have you beaten? Who have you played? Who have you played? Who? Wake Forest? Congrats. You beat a bunch of lawyers and communists, probably. Let's give Kentucky's a good football team.
Communist thing, Wake it like that.
That's a joke. It's a joke. Kentucky's a good football team, and they should get their roses and credits where it's due. A lot of team in Kentucky's schedule is not going to be looking in the same. Trust me, that Tennessee game in a couple of weeks is going to be a little bit interesting. But I sat here on a Wednesday, and it's funny when I ever bring anything up about any other team, they just take it right back to Auburn, like I care or it hurts me. But Lane Kiffin was talking about a team and a head coach, okay, that they weren't even playing. And we've said this about Lane Kiffin. Oh, well, this is Lane. He's a troll. This is this. Well, do you want to be a troll or actually win something that matters? That's the question. Because if you want to go back and live like you're in college and do TikToks and do all this stuff and look flashy and looks like a bunch of frat boys doing your little walk before the game, that's fine. It's about culture. And right now, it's a culture problem at Ole Miss. That's what it is. They need to lock in and focus on what they need to do and stop worrying about everybody else. It's about y'all, what you need to do each day in and out to get the job done, not all this other stuff. Every time we talk about Lane Kiffin, half of the time it's not even about football, and it needs to stop. If you want to win something, you have to lock in and get it done. You'll never see this out of any other program that's actually won something in their life. Nick Saban's, the Kirby Smart, the driving thing, that's different. That's different. And Ole Miss, it's not about Auburn or Hugh Freeze. I don't care about that. I'm trying to help y'all win something that matters because you got the talent. You got the roster. What's the problem?
Mm-hmm. Well, Blaine, I agree with you, man. I mean, and it turned out to be right. You were right. They can say whatever they want, cry in their hands or whatever, and half and point at how bad Auburn is. Again, nobody sends us a check individually. I'll tell you the truth about them too. But when it comes down to when you act the way, and we say this about Deion Sanders, David, when you act and you go out there and you talk the talk and you troll or you do this and act in a certain way, when you're winning, it's great. It's funny. You're hilarious. You're a new wave coach, right? You kind of do it differently. But when you're losing, it hits twice as hard. It hits twice as hard. So that's the risk when you behave like that you take, right? And again, Lane's going to be Lane. He's going to keep being Lane.
He's going to keep being Lane,
I don't think he's going to change.
Him keeping being Lane, to me, is keeping not living up to the hype. As a head coach, as a coordinator, when Nick Saban's the head coach, y'all won the championship. But at USC, at Tennessee, with the Raiders, I mean, it continues to not live up to the hype to me. But you guys said everything that needed to be said.
Hey, YouTube, what is up? Appreciate all you guys stopping by. We're unbelievably happy with how many people watch the live stream and how many subs we're getting. Please, if you haven't, if you just found us, hit that subscribe button and please keep sharing the show because we want to keep taking this thing on the road.